Welcome to another episode of Nurse Eades Getting Ready to Study. I'm your host, Nurse Eades, and today we're going to be looking at some essential tips to help you excel in your nursing studies. So let's start with our acronym for success. Get ready. G starts for gather your materials. You want to make sure that you have everything it is that you possibly can need, all the necessary materials, including textbooks, notebooks, and study resources. Being organized from the start is really going to help you with a strong foundation for effective studying. E is about embracing the syllabus. Your syllabus is that roadmap to success. It really is going to outline what those course objectives are, your policies and procedures for your nursing program, and any required reading. And so you want to familiarize yourself with it to stay on track and be aligned with your program outcomes. And I really have found that if you listen to a previous podcast that I did, that reaching out to your instructor and just asking them for that syllabus gives you a head start on that reading material. So make sure that you reach out to your instructor, ask them if that's something they can have, or at least the reading assignments. T is for target learning objectives. Understand the learning objectives for each topic. This will give you a clear understanding of what to focus on during your studies and then ensure that you're meeting the course requirements. R is read actively. Actively engage with that assigned reading material that you're being given. Make sure that you take notes, ask questions, write those down, and be prepared to ask those in class, and seek to understand the concepts thoroughly. When you engage in active reading, it improves that retention and comprehension of that material. And you need at least 4 to 6 hours after you have gotten that information in for your brain to create that pathway to that information. E is about establishing a study schedule. I know as a student it was difficult for me, but I needed to stay like firm on my schedule. So create a study schedule that that's going to see to it that you stick to it, but also make sure that it suits your learning style and your commitments. Making sure that you allocate appropriate time for each subject and then be consistent with your study routine. It is suggested that students spend 6 to 12 hours a week almost per nursing class to study. And I know that's a lot, but after a while, you'll see some things go hand in hand. But when you really take the time to focus on the things that you don't know. So when you're reading that, going over that reading assignment, if you're reading it and you're understanding it, keep moving. If you come across something that makes you double back because you're not sure, highlight that section. Write down your questions so that when your instructor goes over that information, you can ask questions right then and there or right after class, and then make sure that you're getting that understanding and then spending your time only on that portion or concept that you just weren't sure of. Now that you already established your study schedule, the next part coincides with what we talked about, asking questions and seeking help. Don't hesitate to ask questions in class or seek help from your instructors. That's what they're there for. And when they say to you several times, do you have any questions? Take the opportunity to do so. Because I always say the question that you have most regret on is a question that you don't ask in class. By asking the question in class, you not only help yourself, but you help another student in a classroom be taught. Nursing can really be challenging, and clarifying any doubts early on will help make your learning journey much smoother and successful. That D is about developing practice habits. Practice really does make perfect. So, regularly engage in practice questions, mock exam, and quizzes to reinforce your understanding and identify any areas that might need improvement. Now, I'm going to stop and I'm going to make sure that I put this out there. When I was in nursing school, there were students who thought it was okay to buy test bank questions on whatever platform that you may see out there. But I'm going to be honest, as questions are moving forward, I do not condone that, nor do I advise that. And I recommend that you follow your program's policies, because many of the universities and programs have policies that identify that as plagiarism. The truth is, if you take the time to actually review the question, get an idea of what it's asking you, learn how to break it down, figure out what concepts are important, and then move on to looking at your answers. If you can learn to break down those questions better in the time it takes you, you'll do much better than you will do trying to memorize, because memorization is only meant to be in your head for a short period of time, only for the amount of time that you need it for. And because nursing is built on foundations, from fundamentals all the way up until critical care or your role transition courses, it is really going to be imperative that you do your best to understand the concepts, have a clear pathway to that material versus memorizing, because it won't stay with you as long as you would like it to. So spend more time using your adaptive quizzing, whatever they're giving you. Use your textbooks, whether whatever publisher company. And I want to say that too as disclaimer. I'm not being endorsed, nor am I receiving any financial funds to endorse any publisher out there. So whether it be Evolve, Lippincott, whatever program you choose to use that has adaptive quizzing, whether it be ATI, use those resources to your best. Use those to learn how to break them down. And as you go through my podcast, you'll begin to come across one that takes you to that process of how to break down those questions. And now that you're asking questions, you're answering questions through those mock exams and quizzes, you're now going to get to that part of why and ready, about yielding the power of collaboration. Make sure that you form or join a study group with classmates. Now, I want to say I was not a study group person the first time around. And in my fourth semester, final semester, I did have to repeat a class, but I had to repeat that class because I just could not go one more semester. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. I was like, I don't have a life. And I chose my life over school, and I regret that decision that I made. And so if you can stick it out through it. But I was a loner. But what I did was I made sure that I recorded my lectures. I made sure that I took notes. I made sure that I asked questions. And I became a resource for people to ask me questions as well. But I found it difficult in discerning whether or not I had the correct understanding or if my classmates had the correct understanding. But that was something about my personality that had nothing to do with um, the benefits that can come from a good study group. So join and form your own and have a little bit of control over that. But if you're in a study group with classmates, that um, collaborative learning, it can really enhance not just your understanding of the material, but it helps you confirm that you know what you know through those discussions, very rich discussions that you have with your classmates. And it helps share any insight that may help correct someone else's thinking. And then follow all of that up with reassurance from your instructor. So we're going to go through this one more time. That get ready. G is about gathering your materials. E is about embracing the syllabus. T involves targeting the learning objectives, making sure that you understand the learning objectives of those topics. R is about reading actively. E, establish a study schedule. A, ask questions and seek help. D, develop practice habits. And Y, yield the power of collaboration. And so now we're going to organize all of this information and just make sure that we add on to that some tips that may help. So, tip one is about the assigned reading. That's going to be key. So, start early with your assigned reading materials, break it down into manageable sections, take notes as you go along, and then be prepared. Tip two, take notes, do practice questions. So during your lecture, so you have your notes while you're reading, then you have your notes that you have during lecture and while you're studying, and making sure that you're jotting down key points and concepts that are going to be important. And then make sure you engage in practice questions to reinforce your understanding and identifying areas that need more attention. Tip three, highlight important information. Always have a highlighter. And recently, there is a company out there that makes a highlighter and pen that is erasable, and it's been an amazing tool. If you are using electronic books, they also allow you to highlight and then you can print out those collective notes. So, highlight or use sticky notes to mark crucial information within your notes and within your textbook, and this will help you quickly review essential contents before the exam. Another thing that I did, best thing I could have done, is I took my textbook and I realized, okay, I'm gonna have to buy this textbook. I tried to find a used one. If I couldn't find a used one, I got it brand new. I took the book and I took it to a print shop and I had them cut my book off the binder. After they cut my book off the binder, I had them punch holes in it. And then I put it in a huge loose leaf notebook. Then I could take out only the chapters that were a part of my reading. I would Xerox them, put the originals back into a notebook, and then I would write all over, highlight, put my notes, my questions, and then show up in class ready and prepared. And then at the end of the semester, I took that book and I sold it off to someone else. And they bought it because it was valuable to them. I got more back from selling the loose leaf with the holes punched in them than I did when I actually purchased the book because they realized the benefit of it. So just an idea, thought that maybe you might want to try. And so make sure that after you're highlighting your notes that you review those contents before the exam, especially making sure that now you're doing an overview because before you were reading just and then highlighting the things that you didn't know, making that part of your laundry list, and then reviewing that as a part of your study. But when you're getting ready for exam, you're now embracing all of the highlighted areas that were focused on doing lecture and that may have given you some insight might be on your next exam. Creating flashcards is the next tip, tip four, and these are a powerful tool for helping you create a memory, a source to that information, create that memory from moving from your short term into your long term memory. It's also helpful to help you summarize key terms and concepts on flashcards and then making sure that you review them regularly. Tip five goes back to what I was talking about earlier about making a laundry list of unknown information. Identify areas that you find challenging or that you need clarification on. Create a laundry list of these topics and then seek help from your instructor, other classmates, or your online resources. Now, I'm going to go back to online resources. I really support online resources that come along with whatever learning management system is attached to your textbook or work through your nursing program, again, whether it be ATI, Course Point Plus, Nurse Think, whatever it is that they're using out there to assist you before leaning towards any other type of online resources. Even for myself, as I say from the very beginning, although this information that I give is meant to be informative, you really have to rely on what's coming from your textbooks and then what's coming from your class, making sure you're following those directions. Just caution on the type of online resources that you're using and making sure that they're supporting the information that's being taught to you in class. Tip six, join a study group. Form or join your own with your classmates, go over those complex topics that you have with your peers, and then allow them to help you deepen your understanding and provide different perspectives. And last but not least is tip seven, use your adaptive quizzing programs. Leverage those adaptive quizzing programs and any other online resources that tailor questions to your level of understanding. When you use adaptive quizzing, It looks at you and you only, and it tells you where your weaknesses are. These tools can help you not only identify what those weak areas are, but they allow you to improve your performance by creating quizzes specifically in those areas. Well, there you have it. I'll get ready tips to set you up for success in your nursing studies. What I really want you to get is to understand and remember that preparation and dedication are key to excelling in any nursing program. I wish you well, do well, and stay tuned for more from Nurse Eades.